I think it's the 11th of February today, the 11, yay, 11, 11, 11, 11 of February. So this week is all about love, and sometimes as beautifully challenging that it is to kind of, allow yourself to soak within tremendous stories that many people will be moving on. Not so much the younger generation right now. The younger generation right now luckily has, a lot of the age group that I'm in chose to, when we choose to have kids, we choose to bring them up in, most often than not, higher elevational stories, and not so many lies. I know that my parents, they had still some access to things that were happening, so-called parents. I still don't have the correct information. I'm going to be finding out in the next 10 days, who my real father is and so on, because there were still some things that were hidden. And I know that I was born in the States. That's all I know. And there was a lot of hidden experiences because, they were with the Illuminati sacrificing experiences. And we've talked about the ridiculousness of the satanic Illuminati rituals and just creating these arbitrary beliefs that, the arbitrary beliefs of sacrificing your children so that you can, maintain your prowess and your clout and your whatever it is you're maintaining. It's ridiculous. The whole point is to be better than your parents, were before you, because they're not in the higher generational intelligence. We all know that those before us were not in the highest intelligence. We're always meant to be better, and we're always meant to be in higher form intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually than our parents were, because we're meant to be more spiritually evolved than the generation before us. It's kind of called evolution. But in some cases, some of these belief systems, as we've been talking about, the Illuminati and all of these sacrificing types of belief systems that have done so much damage on the planet and have corrupted and destroyed so many families. You have to actually just think about the common sense. How would it be that the older generation gets to sacrifice the younger generation? How would that make sense in the evolutionary process when your children are meant to be higher in intelligence, higher in evolutionary standard than the ones before you? So if all of these experiences of sacrificing was to be true, it flies in the face of universal law. It flies in the face of human rights. It flies in the face of the laws on the planet of criminal case laws. And not only that, but you're not allowing the children to be higher evolved than you because you're taking them out and you're sacrificing them. And then all of these made up belief systems about the Masonic and the Illuminati and all of these, whatever their names are, I don't care what the names are, the titles don't mean anything. But whatever these experiences are on how families have behaved and who puts a hit on who, the parents actually put a hit on the child. And right from when the child is born, depending on what gifts they're born with, depending on how they're established within the family, as far as their spiritual gifts and the light that they carry, because God will determine what child comes in what family, based on the lineage and so on, that needs to be healed. If there's a lot of karmic background that needs to be healed on the dark occult, they'll bring somebody like myself in of great light, place me right in the middle of somebody like an Illuminati family that's given their last chance to evolve their species into light. So I'm being brought into these dark families, and because God is guaranteeing my life, and there's no way that I'm going to be, ever given into their agendas. God will let it play a certain bit, but God won't let me go to jail on behalf of their crimes. God won't let me die on behalf of their idiocy. God won't let me be sacrificed on a cross because of them, and all of these experiences. But I'm there just long enough to play karma for all of them so they can have and they can see, is this really the common sense that you're going with? You just put it on the table and you actually talk with somebody that's higher consciousness and you actually say, this is a planetary global experience in which there's billions of people on the planet that live by these sacrificial experiences. And when you actually dissect it, it makes no sense to anything on any level. And at the end of it, you're all entropy. And you're all sacrificing your entire lineage and your entire species. So your species will never come back into a fold of life. I mean, it doesn't matter anyways, because you're sacrificing, you're killing them anyways. You're not going to come back. This is what these adults at my age and older, because this is what we're talking about, was from the 1950s on. These are the generations of the church and state systems, the ones that are planetary systems, the one we're dealing with right now. The church and state systems are run and led and managed and created by divine masculines that are in their age, 50s to 90s. This is the age group of men we're talking about. This is the age group of men that have done the most damage on the planet. These are the ones that are involved in the misogynistic online cult crimes, the misogynistic sex cult that was done in Calgary. They're the ones that are behind all of the abuse of me, and they're still plotting and planning and scheming to have me taken out. So I was brought into a very corrupt Illuminati family so that I could play that light role, because God's plan was that they were never going to sacrifice me anyways. So in the very beginning, I got moved to a family that would have been safer, if you will, in an isolated island in Canada, which is where I grew up, in a family that obviously wasn't mine, because I knew that these people were not my family. I just felt it, obviously. I mean, when you're adopted, you don't fit, you don't fit. You don't fit with anybody that is around you. I never felt like I fit here. I'm still, and unfortunately, as much as I love Gaia, as much as I love nature, as much as I love the Gaia energy and all of my ancient timelines, this timeline has been... There's a whole bunch of truths coming out about how much crap that I've actually lived through and how much has gone on behind the scenes that I have to transmute. And I'm going to be honest with all of you as I come on. I'm going to give you the news as I get it, because what we're talking about is forgiveness, and the other half of becoming an ascended being is to forgive those that have been the most egregious to you, and that have taken your life and your soul and your free will as if it means nothing. And we have to be the healers for those that are coming up from trafficking, that have gone through similar situations. And how do we help them heal? How do we help them build that family? That frequency of, you do have a few people that you can count on that are going to help ground you and going to help bring your story to life if you so choose. It's always their free will if they bring their stories to life, because some of them are quite traumatic. But we have to look at this whole global experience as to why people feel that sacrificing and the beliefs they hold behind the whole thing of sacrificing, and how much the people that are involved in it, how very wounded they are. They live from jealousy and envy. They live from, because they all know at some point they're going to be they have to find a body to sacrifice. And so when you put it on the table and you just dissect it as point blank, just information, you're meant to be higher in evolution than the parents before you. But if you're taking out the children, and this is how you live, and if the children are given a certain amount of money or they're given certain things, there's still certain provisions that they're still going to be taken away from you, because you're never going to have that chance to live a great life. You're never going to have that chance to go about your dreams and your destiny, because a lot of these cults and coven families, they don't want you to be better than them. They want you to stay small, and they want you to stay less than them. And then they call it a religion, and then they think they're righteous. There's so many warped beliefs. You just put it on the table, and you take one family that lives in these types of energies, and you just put it on the table, and you have them face who they are in any one given week. And I can go into any one of these cult and coven families, and I'll sit with you for 1 week, and I will see how you behave, and I will be your karma for you to see how you behave. All of you, I will see how all of you behave, and you'll all have to sit with who you are, and you're all going to have to sit with how much you're jealous and envious, and how much you do spell work to hurt people, how much all of these things that people do, because there's so much projection, there's so much hate, that they don't have a sense of self within themselves, and they behave this way, and it's like a sick cesspool and parasitic. It's just like diseases. They're diseases of self-hate. They're not connected with God on any level. It doesn't matter how many times they say they belong to a church. That's not connecting with God on any level. It just isn't. It's just blatant lies. And this is why God had me come in and be as point blank honest and dissect it as much as I need to dissect it for all of you. You can't play these games. You can't put on your robes. You can't put on your little sheets that you put on and wrap your belly with your purple band. You can't do these things. And then you carry your Bible in. And then in the meantime, you've got your witches and your warlocks and your coven people. And you've got your Illuminati back office people, you know, doing horrible, horrible crimes on me, a heavenly leader, because the only way for you to ever be balanced in any of your criminal deeds is to actually take out an earth angel to balance your deeds of your disgustingness. That's their intention. Their intention is to still take me out so that they can balance some of their deeds, because they haven't been able to sacrifice. So they're still trying to plan to see if they can get some of my gifts and skills, to see if they can still say, you're never going to get anybody, you're never going to get my gifts and skills, any of you. Nobody around this world will ever get my gifts or skills. None of you ever will. The whole point of this evolution, of this ascension for humanity, and there's a stop, there's already a stop. Sacrificing on this planet is no more. Sacrificing is not an evolved practice, people. It's not higher light wisdom's intelligences. The laws on the planet now are spiritual grid laws. You have to align with the higher light wisdom's intelligences, and it's not sacrificing people. You will never be ranked sacrifice. I don't know how many videos I have to do about this. If you put down your belief systems on a table and you actually hear yourself talk, record yourself on how you talk, and then go away for a little while and sit in front of the sun and just say, if I'm going to be here for the rest of my life, and I'm meant to be a role model, and I think I might come back in another lifetime, you might have another lifetime, you're not going to come back into another body. You're not going to come back into another body, which is going to be 5D, it's going to be higher light. You're going to have higher light in your system, but you don't have the consciousness, you don't have because you're still in the idea that you've got to sacrifice people so that you can live a few more years of walking around free. Like, who are you going to pay this body to? Do you see what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what question you ask. It doesn't matter what your deed is. It doesn't matter if you're going to pay a witch or a warlock to do poisoning or having a car crash. It doesn't matter what you place in front of me. I will place it in front of you. I will sing it right back to you, and I will say, and what is this that makes sense? And what is this of you? And who is this of you? And what are you doing with this is your soul. Your soul and your species are on the line. Your soul and your species are as thin as this. This is your species is like this, hanging by a thread. Your species is hanging by a thread, and every time that you sacrifice this little dot right there, you sacrifice that, and this thread is cut. It's cut. There's no more chances, people. Your species is being eliminated by you sacrificing and not understanding. You're not understanding, you're not getting it. You've just eliminated your whole species because you're sacrificing them. You sacrificed it. You didn't earn an ounce of light for you to continue. You're not going to come back in a body. You can't reincarnate when you're sacrificing. You're not going to come back when you sacrifice fucking life. I don't know. I don't understand how it's like diabolically, benignly stupid. I don't understand I don't understand how people are not getting this. There's billions of people on the planet that live by these beliefs of sacrificing. When you sacrifice, you are putting your species on the line. You will never come back into a body. Is that okay with you? Is that okay that you're never going to come back into another body? Your children are never going to come back. You're not going to prolong your species. You're not going to ever come back. That's it. It's entropy. Your species is now done. Whatever you are in your DNA, whatever your species is, whatever your ancestors are, that's it. The cord is cut. The cord's cut. There's no more. So what does your sacrificing do for you? You've been your whole life, been in this Illuminati, BS, thinking you're in a secret society. You're not. All of your beliefs that you bought into is absolutely hogwash. It's giving you nothing. You might think that you're in a secret society. You might think that you have clout. You might think that you have power. You really don't. You don't at all. You're in a lot of fucking karma. You've got a lot of entropy. You got a lot of darkness. You're not going to go to anywhere that's going to give you another life, another body, another species. So what are you going to do? You're just going to run out this life. Okay, then what? And then you're going to go through your life review because it's time for you to move on. Your soul's got to progress. I mean, there's not going to be a whole bunch of souls on this planet just doing nothing, not progressing. No, you're here to progress. If you're not going to progress, there's going to be life events. Gaia is going to go through her life events, and she's going to move off all the souls that don't want to progress. It is that simple. This planet is going into a progressionary ascension. If there's souls on the planet that don't want to progress, if there's souls on this planet that don't want to evolve, there's going to be events that will move these souls off. Because you don't care. You don't care. You don't care about earning any light. You don't care about learning about source. You don't care about unity consciousness. You don't care about the insects. You don't care about nature. You don't care about the oceans. You don't care about life. So why be here? Just so you can play the game of sacrificing people and trafficking and getting as much money as you can? And then scheming and scamming to make yourself look good, but meanwhile everybody else around you suffers? So it's still sacrificing. You're sacrificing other people for your ignorance and stupidity. Because you want to live in this belief that as long as you keep sacrificing and doing voodoo on people and putting people in mind brain and mental washing and MK Ultra, and you're mentally and emotionally stripping the people of who they are so that you can play entropy games. You're still going to go to entropy. You're not going to come back. I can walk around this in a million circles. You're still going to come back at the same place. You have no connection with Source God. You have no connection with love and light. You have no connection with light inside your body. You're not going to come back in a body because there's no light in it. You're not going to come back because your species have gone out. You've sacrificed too many people. The cords are cut. You have no respect for life. You're not coming back in another body. You've cut your species off of Christ consciousness. You cut your species off of ever coming back in another body. There's no more 3D timelines. There's no more. So all the covens people and all the cult people and all the Mason people and all the Illuminati people and all the people on the planet, Satan is, Lucifer, whatever you want to call it, doesn't care about the names. The names and titles don't matter. Church and state and the beings that have created church and state laws and the systems of church and state. There is a really behind the eight ball, and I bring it forward every day. And I put it on the table so that everybody looks at their belief systems. You're not going to be able to keep going on day by day by day and not facing it and not dealing with it. There is going to be more and more tower moments until everybody faces and everybody deals with this issue. You will not move forward. There's going to be world events. If you're not progressing your soul, there will be world global events, whether they're earthquakes or tsunamis, it doesn't matter what it is. There will be these events that Gaia and Source will manifest because the souls on the planet are not progressing. Because there are beliefs like this that make no sense on any level on how and why and when. It doesn't even matter when, because they've been around for a long time. People have been carrying these dark occult abuses, and yet our consciousness is higher than that. So why would your consciousness be higher? We're star seeds now, every new generation. My generation is the first biggest generation of star seeds. So in this generation, from the 1970s forward, we should be having a lot more progression than we do. But instead, there's a whole slew of corruption through church and state because they wanted to maintain fear-based control systems because they wanted to dominate as many people as possible. So in doing so, they come up with such idiotic, ridiculous beliefs like what has been going on with sacrificing. You put anything on the table in front of me. I don't care if you have an ancient book that says this is how we did it in the olden days. It doesn't matter. Our species are different. Our consciousness is different. It's bullshit. I can walk around you with 100 different things, 100 different ways. Everything that you're doing will only amount to BS, to death, to entropy, and you've absolutely cut your species off. Your species will never, ever come back. Your species will never come back. And your species on the other side, because I'm the ones with them on the other side. The species with the Galactic Federations are saying, you absolutely know that if any time that you sacrifice a body and a death, you're absolutely cutting your species off from ever coming back ever again into a human body. Because the reptilians are Inhumans, the Draconians, the Orions, all of these species, and were the ones that were involved in the Illuminati. Because they're the ones with the lack mentality. Very primordial. And they've cesspooled themselves into all of these other genetics. This sacrificing thing is on the whole, there's different beliefs about sacrificing. We have to absolutely put it on the table and say, we're a consciousness now that is a lot higher from the birth of 1970 forward. Our consciousness is so high. There's no way we should be going to something that is so benignly retarded. Your species is done. We're going to walk you through it. Every human has their DNA. Every human has a DNA. Every human has been celestial, humanoid. We all have energetic fields. We all have energetic bodies. We live in a field of magnetics. Our heartbeat is magnetic. Our thoughts and our forms and our feelings are magnetic. Our beliefs are magnetic. So if you're not healed and you're not being brought up in the highest vibrational belief systems of who are you, what you exist within, what's going on within you, how important and how special your DNA is, and all the things that you're designed by, and all the things that you are, and all the things that you're connected with everything in the multiverse. Doesn't matter if you believe it or not, it is a truth. You are connected with everything in the multiverse. You're connected with everything. You're connected with everything in the multiverse. You're connected with everything in the multiverse. You are connected with everything in the multiverse. You are connected with everything in the multiverse. This is a truth. So if, therefore, you say in these church and state systems of 1 billion people or more that are practicing sacrificing, that are doing such things, and they not understanding their DNA, they're not understanding anything I've just said because it's low consciousness. They're living in a cesspool of understanding, of hate, of greed. They're still living in a lot of wounding because they believe that doing sacrificing and black magic and voodoo and all of these dark occult things are the way to live about life. And it isn't. They're beliefs that you haven't seen beyond the veil of, wow, where there's a whole other learning system out there. Right? Because if I don't get over this dark occult thing, I mean, my whole species is just going to be gone. I mean, we've only got, this is the last timeline for 3D. This is it. We're going to be 5D in the next 15 years. You have 15 years to sort out do unto others. Are you? Will you? Really? So people live in these cults and covens. They have no idea about the DNA. No, they're just walking around seeing, oh, there's a human. I think I might sacrifice that person over there. We're going to sacrifice that person. Who's going to sacrifice that person? No idea that these people actually have destinies. They actually have beautiful design by the source creator. Source creators given their design. Every little codon has their gifts and skills and talents from their ancestors. Their ancestors from 800 years and 800 lineages back. That's just from one codon. That's one codon, one person. One codon, one person, but the Illuminati and the cults and the covens and the Masons and the warped ass 3D church and state people, these are the people that are living by these systems because it's corrupt. It's how they make their money. It's how they get by doing what they do. It's how they get by being the top at the top, being the elite of the elite, and they're seen as all this and they're seen as all that because they're not facing their wounding. They don't want to face their wounding of no sense of self. They're jealous. They're envious. They don't know how to talk with somebody that's highly intelligent because then they feel threatened. And then they're going to go out and get a witch and a warlock and they're going to go and swarm them so that they can sacrifice them, which is what they've done to me since the day I was born. That's why I had to come out here to Canada to save me. Because they knew that I was on the chopping block with this Masonic family that wanted to sacrifice me. They knew I had gifts when I was born and they were going to sacrifice me. U.S. shadow government and the Canadian shadow government, you all know, I want my proper birth documents. I want the birth documents of exactly who I am and what time and where I was born, and I want it delivered to the bank address that I have on my YouTube page. YouTube corruption, you will also be sued along with the shadow government about everything that you've done to suppress my voice, to keep me hidden, because you're also going to be involved in these criminal court cases, and we will have legal representation, and each and every one of you have already been found guilty, and you will be found guilty in a 3D court of law. All of you. And I've shown and I've proven to you, everybody that brings any one of these things to me, and you bring your top mafia people, you bring your top political people, you bring the country's world leaders, I don't care what you bring to me. I will sit it down on the table and I will dissect it one by one, and I will talk to your ancestors on the other side and I will say, now here's your choices. You can go entropy, you can be neutral for it a bit and just say, let's be neutral, let's just think about this. Or you can go into the positive thing and say, hey, well, maybe we're here on the planet to kind of evolve and maybe think that we can go into more of another progression. Maybe we can reincarnate. Maybe our children can come back with another family. Maybe we can do this. But if you cut off the mentality of just a low vibrational 3D consciousness, if there's nothing more than 3D conscious and all you're doing is killing each other because that's all you think you're doing, and the only way to do this is through the children, because all the adults, they're still, powering each other on who's going to sacrifice who next. But no, they sacrifice most of the children. And so what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Well, I can go around another circle. Let's go around a few more circles. Okay. Well, you're not going to come back because you're not caring for life. You're not caring for life. There's no respect. You're not going to come back in another body. That's it. You're not coming back. The cord's cut. Because the next timeline is going to be 5D. You didn't earn your consciousness. You earned no light. There's no light in you. There's no intelligence in you. There's no intelligence in your cells, no intelligence in your DNA. That's called your soul's presence. Every time that you progress, every time that you heal, every time that you add consciousness, every time you connect with source, your DNA gets higher and smarter. That's why it's called light. And then when you go through your soul integration, you call in that soul fragment and you're working with light and you do the things that I show you how to do, that I teach on the Pleiades, you actually activate your DNA with light. You get those codes, you get those activations, you get your gifts, your skills, your talents of whatever is in that codon. You get it because you've given it light, because you've healed through forgiveness and compassion and doing the whole unity oneness, because you're giving yourself back yourself, you're recombining back a source. This is how you do it. You're growing in consciousness, you're growing in height, you're growing in compassion, I see why I did that, I see why I went that, I was jealous there, I was envious there, that was what I was taught, I wasn't given love when I was little, I wasn't given self-design, I didn't know who I was because it was all about greed and it was all about getting things and stalking and spite. It was just a dog-eat-dog fucking world. That's what they grew up in. So then they go on to the Masons, the Illuminati, and then they go into this world and they see, well, the only reason why they're paid attention to is if they have money. And so how do you get money? Well, let's just join a cult or coven because I want to be important. And then there's insurance fraud and there's this and that, and they're just trafficking kids here and there, and they're taking out people that have special gifts. And if you don't want to come and play with us, on our side, and you don't want to be a part of our sex cult, then we're going to make your life hell and we're going to sacrifice the fuck out of you, which is what they did to me. For years and years and years. And they put handling people on me, and they put other people on me to make sure that I was going to stay where I was going to stay, so they could stalk me, so they could study me, so they could make sure that what the magic's working, what not magic's working. Am I progressing in my spiritual gifts? Am I progressing in my wisdoms with God? Am I progressing in the ways that I'm godly? Because they had to make sure that I was never going to override them and come up with what they've been doing to me my whole life. Because they didn't want to be found out. They didn't want to be held accountable of all the crimes that have been going on my whole life. So the only way was to sacrifice me and keep trying to kill me. How many death plots on my life this far, Spirit, as of right now? Everybody involved since the shadow government. How many plots and how many experiments and how many plans were on my life to take me out? They're showing me all of these, they're showing me adults just sitting around and all these ideas on how to take me out. All these ideas. This is the ignorance of it. They're saying 5,200. I'm the catalyst of a generation of intelligence. That's why God will not allow me to be taken out. Because I'm a generation of the new intelligence of ultra-humans, and you will not take me out. And I'm teaching and I'm giving and I'm gifting freely. I don't get paid because all of you have done so much to me. And I'm saying those of the 300 that are involved, that have been involved in elite soul harvesting. I'm not talking about my clients, and I'm not talking about the ones that come to this channel, because they know I speak a harsh truth. They know I speak the truth that needs to be alchemized, and they know that these truths are true so that they can walk forward in higher knowing and higher absolute transparency in who they are, because they can see church and state for what it is, and they can understand what systematic abuse is, and they can understand what it's like to do the actual path work and actually ascend. Because although I'm the light worker that's dealing with most of these dark occult issues on the planet for the children, and why trafficking began, and how and why it began, and where and how it began, and what are the wounds behind it so that we can heal those wounds, and we can come up with healing systems and healing plans for those that are healing from it and choosing to go forward in eternal life, and as well as the children that have been the victims of it all. And because I am the light worker, and I am the healer, and I am the teacher, and I'm a world leader that is bringing this to the collective, for the most part have been sacrificed inside and out every day with nothing, and I still live on the street, and I still have nothing, and I still have to fix all my accounts, I have to fix all my finances, and I'm still every day finding out every aspect of lies and things that were withheld from me, because I still have to digest the things that were done. And I bring them forward every day so that everybody can see. These are the things we have to transmute, the things that are still going on in our collective, with the ideas of sacrificial belief systems, of dark occult belief systems, of corruption belief systems, and how and why is such things a part of evolutionary human life forms through which you see yourself in a long-term experience of eternal whatever, How can it be of a higher intelligence, of an evolutionary human species, to have these things in an everyday thing? That's a big package statement, but I can go with it. I can dissect anything. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a pope pretending to be a pope, but then you go and do Masonic things. It doesn't matter if you're a world leader and you go and do satanic rituals, but you're pretending to be a world leader. Again, you're playing both sides. You're doing your double standard. And we've told you for years now you can't play both sides. You can't have a double standard. You can't have all the money. You can't pretend that you're all it. You can't take the ideas from the divine feminine and you can't put it on your platform and you can't pretend that that's your information, that that's your knowledge when it isn't. You've just watched 10 of my videos. You've put it in your words and now you're coming up with a video that's yours. It's an AI video. It's my information. They're my videos. It's my wisdoms. It's my downloads. And this is what's happening. This is what's been happening for a very long time. My channel has been shadow banned. I come out with these higher vibrational wisdoms of the collective psyche, the collective psychosis, what's been happening in the collective, since and what dates. I've been talking about everything that's been going on, about psyche, soul healing, all of these things that go on. These are my downloads. And then you have certain elites that are taking these ideas, they're having AI pages make up the exact same information, and they're putting it through an AI processor, and they're coming up with these experiences. They're just saying it in just different words. I'm saying it in a vibrational godly saying where you're coming to me, you're getting God codes. You're going to an AI page, you're not getting God codes. There's a difference here. I'm teaching you right from source creator. I'm teaching you so your DNA gets activated. You're not getting activated through an AI page. You're not getting activated by somebody that just watches me and then wants to be like me because they're jealous of not being like me. And so they're doing all of these things behind the thing. And then they're going out and they're putting out their channel and they're being pretending. And then you're getting all the compliments and they're getting all the things because my channel is getting hidden. It's being suppressed. And there's church and state people, 3 companies that are paying YouTube to suppress my channel. And they're fucking with my upload dates. Again, so what chance do I have at ever getting justice? Where's my justice? Where's my due diligence? Where's the due process? Where's any due process on anything? There's people that still stalk me. Everywhere I go, there's people that stalk me. Where's my fucking protection? My DNA and my lineage and my wisdoms and my information and who I am as a vibrational person, I'm more than every other leader on this planet. And they get more protection than I do. They're living in their fancy houses with their gold fucking toilets. And I'm homeless. We're going to walk you through it. I came here as a starseed. And my chakras and my DNA was already lit up coming through here. And whoever my mother was, because I was such a high vibrational child, and because of the dissonance between her energy and my energy, she didn't like having the birth through me. Because I was already higher vibrational than she was. And since the day I was born, she didn't like me. Then I had to put up with all that. That's fine. I can handle it. I can deal with it. I can transmute anything. But not only that, the real father of mine was a Mason, Illuminati. And they knew that because of how I was born and because of who I was, they knew that right from the day one, right from scratch, if the family needed anything, if the Illuminati group, if the Mason group, if the elite group, if all of these elite people that live in the highest of the highs in their towers, and they're everything, and they're running the show, they're running the judge system, they're running the judicial, they're running who's going to get elected, they're running everything. I was born in the States. I still don't have my proper birth documents, and you're going to give it to me. I want my proper birth documents. I want my proper birth name. That's my legal right as a human. I have my proper rights, and you're going to give it to me. So apparently there's this father that's walking around that wants to be a part of my life now. You're not going to be a part of my life. I'm 54. I think I'm okay. You're all forgiven. You have no weight with me. Thanks for everything. Thanks for, helping me learn and stretch my consciousness, because this is how God's going to play it. And this is how the heavens are going to play it. That I had to go through all of this, which I always had these conversations with God. And I say, I don't believe it. I don't believe that you have to go to a planet. I don't believe that you have to be psychologically abused for your entire life. I don't believe that you have to be stressed and pressed. I don't believe that you have to be stretched out in the torture chambers to say that, okay, well, I've got bones and they're going to snap at a certain point. I don't believe in this type of psychology. I don't believe in this type of mentality. I think it's sick. I think it's toxic as fuck. I think it's sick. I tell this to God all the time. I say, you can put me in this sacrificial position, and I played donkey for all of you. I played donkey for all of you. I've been sacrificed more than Jesus about 100 times. I keep getting sacrificed to keep coming forward, to keep giving you the information, and every day is a new psychological story that I have to process, that I have to absolutely go through, and I have to digest it, I have to process it, I have to alchemize it. And these are stories that have been through however many timelines, however many lineages, however many, all of the people that I'm transmuting from my lineages and my ancestors, and everybody from the beginning of the Illuminati all the way forward. And it's a lot of it. Nobody could carry what I carry. Nobody. None of you could carry what I carry. And I bring forward the highest wisdom so that all of you can take a chunk of it and go away and say, what is this sacrificing really about? I want you to think about it. I want you to think about it. We're in the week of love, so think about it. Think about sacrificing on planet Earth with 8 billion people, and there's over 1 billion people that operate with the belief systems of sacrificing, corruptness, and Illuminati, BSness, Masons, cults, covens, witches, and warlocks that all sit around in their homes and they think about how they're going to kill somebody, and they have no idea who the fuck they are. They don't care. They don't have any idea. They're just low ignorance, zero knowledge, zero everything. DNA, chemistry, all of these beautiful things that you deal with, all of these beautiful things that we are, all of these beautiful things, all of these beautiful things, all of these beautiful things that we are. And they just sit around like the table that was done in my ex. They used to do that. They used to sit around the table, him and his cult leaders, him and his little cult people, and he was having sex with supposedly the person that is supposed to be my father. They all have sex with each other because they're men, they're wounded, and they have it's a misogynistic sex cult. Because they're not dealing with who they are. They're not dealing with their gay, their gay sexual, tendencies. They're not dealing with it. They're not dealing with their distorted divine feminine energies. They're not dealing with their distorted divine masculine energies. So they're all behaving in debaucherous ways. They're hiding in suppression. They're hiding in the black market. They're hiding in all of these things they don't want anybody to know about. So they sit around the kitchen table with their witches and their warlocks, and they decide how they're going to continue attacking. What kind of spell work are we going to do? What kind of poison are we going to do? Are we going to bring our free meal? We're going to pretend it's a salad this week, and we're going to put something in it. Meanwhile, I was on the floor heaving the next day, sick as fuck. Because although it should have killed me, but because I'm a starseed and because I have light, because I'm connected with God, I have source set caught energy, I was just down and out for a day. I was on the floor for a day. Well, you all smiled and said, oh, that's, I thought it was a real joke. And then you laughed about it in your little cult and coven chat rooms. All the information is there, the evidence is there, and all of you are going to be found guilty. This is what you actually do. I'm walking you through what's done on a daily basis in these houses. Humanity has to wake up to this. The ones that are involved are the elite church and state, the shadow government. Over 70% of the world leaders are involved in ritualization practices. These are the ritualization practices. They hire the cults and covens, the minions, the little dark minions, and they're not going to have your back when you start going to court. They're going to scapegoat you. And why I told you to take your confessions to the authorities of your local communities, of your cults and covens. Because this is going to be pulled from all over the world. It's not just this continent is where it's going to start. Because my case goes through every human abuse that has ever been done to a human. And God allowed me to survive it. So thank you so much, God, for allowing me to survive. So that I can come and talk about all of these psychological, mental, and emotional, and spiritual, and financial, physical things I had to survive from. And the only one I'm going to love for me is me. Because right now I'm still having this discussion with God that I don't believe. I will never believe. I will never believe that anybody of any type of intelligence, it's like a barbaric system where a piece of the brain was taken out on this planet somehow, somewhere. And there was not enough questioning done by the people on the planet to think that if you just put any one of these things on the table and you actually just talk about it, and you're going to see how absolutely entropic that any one of these situations is to all of you, because I said, all of you are connected with everything and everyone. And if you're not asking yourself these questions about $1 billion practice that goes on your planet of 8 billion, and you think that the planet is going to start shaking and shuffling to start getting these people that just don't care about their soul's evolution, and things are going to start happening. And then what? You know, like the great floods and things like that, they're actually real things. Why? Because people don't care about their soul's evolution. So why are you going to stay here? Why are you going to stay? This is just a planet about you and your selfishness. You've absolutely done absolutely zero care and zero clicking in. I don't know, maybe we should think about this. Zero clicking in about, okay, so then for my life, even though the father was remote, he still had touch about what was going on and who were looking after me. And there was still trying to sacrifice me every now and then. I would still have people watching me and still people sabotaging me to see how much I could, because my blood belonged to that coven. How ridiculous. No, my life is my life. Doesn't it belong to me? I mean, I'm the one that's like feeding myself and nourishing myself. I mean, I'm the one that's living through every day. You don't own shit. You don't own shit. And as of last week, they were still trying to sacrifice me. You don't own shit of me. You're not going to say to you're not going to say to the universe that, oh, we're going to sacrifice. It's our entitlement to sacrifice her. Is it really? Really? That's your intelligence. They're just saying we didn't know about any of this. You didn't know about any of what? Basic common sense? If you put anything on the table, I'm inspiring all of you to be higher intelligence. This is why I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get any of this. I don't get how you can actually think that you can be on a planet with such horrible, abhorrent, disgusting, aggressive, biologically benign MK Ultra programs, Project Stargate programs, Epstein agendas. I don't understand how you can even think about and even talk about one of it and you not even think it's going to come back and it's going to entropy you or it's going to become a great devastation to your planet. I don't get it. I don't get how anybody can be so turned off of anything and all you care about is the money that you're going to get out of this. Is the black magic taking your brains over so much so that you don't get you're never coming back ever? You will never come back ever. And you have absolutely destroyed your children of ever coming back ever. But you don't care because you're sacrificing the children anyways. And then you're having sex with them in the underground. And then you're going to deny it all, and you're going to blame it on somebody else. And all of these court cases and all these RICO cases, you're actually blaming it on the victim. So that I have to go back into court and I say, I wasn't there, I didn't even live there, I don't even know these people. And yet you're blaming me or putting my name on all of your false-ass crimes. This is the diabolical disgustingness. This is what goes on. And I'm fighting for my rights. I'm fighting for my voice every day. So apparently the real father is out there wanting to come and give me some information, coming to give me what's really going on. Really? So as a psychic, as getting the downloads from the father, I started talking about this 4 or 5, 6 years ago. Go back to my videos. Then they started pulling up all of these cults and covens and how it was really organized from the top down. These are my downloads. So you go out to any of the videos that are in the YouTube video right now. You go out into the video of the YouTube video and you go into any archangel download. You go into any God download. You go into any angel download. You go into any of these videos and they're talking about what my downloads are. I'm not getting paid anything. I don't get 1 penny from YouTube. I don't get 1 penny from anybody. No donators except my 2 clients. And my 2 clients are going to go right up to the heavens and they will always have a place in the heavens and they will always be protected by the angels. These 2 clients have shown all of humanity what a true disciple is. These 2 clients. They have outranked family. They have outranked so-called friends. They have outranked politicians. They have outranked world leaders. Because by the time my lifetime is done here, there will be everybody in this planet and the galaxy that will know exactly why I'm here. They will know exactly who I am. They will know exactly every corrupt crime, every darkness, every aspect of dark thing that has ever been on this planet since the beginning of time. And I have brought it up. And I've transmuted most of it just by myself. I'm placing it on the collective's plate for the collective to look at and say, is this truly what we want humanity to be for our church and state systems? And is it a church and state system, or can we go to higher light wisdom's intelligence? Because we're not going to survive if this is the case. Because the planet will react from your ignorance. She is a conscious being and she's going to go through to ascension. And so all these Illuminatis that think they're so hot and they think they're so special and they think they're so smart, they're really not. They're against the 8 ball. They're all going into psychosis. They're all having mental breakdowns because they've had so much karma. They've been involved in the black magic. They've been involved in trafficking. And they've actually had so much involved with the corruption in the court system and the judicial because for some reason and somehow, who's elected as a leader and who's elected as politician has somehow have to do with the judicial court system. Because why? We all know it's there. It shouldn't be, should it? If it's a judicial court system and it should be based on justice, and it should be only based on justice, why is it so linked to the politicians? Because y'all know your politicians are linked to the judicial system. Why is that? It's so underhanded, it's so under the table, and you all know it is. Top judges have even said that. The top judges in your country have said that. That's a statement that came from one of your top judges. It shouldn't be this way, but it actually is. The judges and who makes the bench is actually swayed by the politicians, and you know it is. So where's the justice? That's why the checks and balances on 50 years of discrimination and 50 years of hate and 50 years of sacrifice and 50 years of systematic abuse has never ever been looked at, and nobody gives a fuck. Nobody out there in the system, the FBI, CIA, there's other investigative groups now on it. There's other smaller investigative groups that are in on it because they can't believe how diabolical it is. They knew there was corruption going on, but now that I'm pulling it out fine tooth and comb, now that I'm pulling up because Father said nobody's being accountable for it, your soul's progression is not going to go forward. So if your soul progression is not going to go forward, the Father is going to keep pulling up evidence that's even deeper and more rich. It's like way thicker and more intricate than we thought. The corruption. Just on me, trying to keep me silent, keep me hidden, keep me dead and numb and dumb. With all the falsified fuck-ass POAs. I'm one of the ones that survived. There's women that didn't survive. There's men that had inheritances that didn't survive. They got sacrificed a long time ago. They're on the other side talking to me. They weren't safe to come forward because they knew they were going to be sacrificed. So again, the core issue in the belief systems about sacrificing and using your dark occult to keep everybody numb and dumb so that nobody questions it. You erase your memory, glamour spells, defamations. The occultists and the witches and the warlocks, there's been so many practitioners that have taken themselves out by their own rebounds of their black magic, their own rebuking of their black magic, because they were told over and over again, don't fuck with me. So you're going to keep using your magic on me, you're just going to get all your magic back. So you will be blocked, you will go in poverty, you'll have your defamation spells, you'll have your jar spells, you'll have your voodoo spells, you'll have your poison spells, all the things you did to me. All the things you did to me, 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 up to 300 of you. And tell every one of your covens, tell every one of your new witches, tell every one of your witches training to be witches, tell every one of your back forest witches, tell every one of your back forest voodooists, tell everyone that you play and you handle and you pay all over the world. I want every person around the world to know these things. You're playing with never coming back ever again, and if you don't care, you don't care because you sacrifice people anyways, and you do these things that are most horrible, corrupt things, so it doesn't matter, it does, obviously you're so detached from life, you're so detached from spirit, there's no light within your connection of thought, word, or deed, there's no connection of light within anything. These are the belief systems that must be looked at and must be faced because you will not ascend if you're not harmonizing and connecting with light and your connection with all things. Unity consciousness is everything. Your cells are connected, your DNA is connected, your body's connected, your brain's connected, all you are is connected. It's all connected. So if you're sacrificing Billy Bob Joe and Billy Bob May and Joe and Fraser and Joe Bob and Joe Bell and Joe Bell and all of these, so all you care about is sacrificing, then what? Now you're all saying entropy. So now what has happened is that because I'm a survivor, as forcible by God, and we have this conversation all the time, how intentional was it? And is it really? That once we get over this ascension hump, we're never going to have to come back to this again. We're never going to have to deal with this again. That we're going to get over this experience of we had to be
psychologically abused, physically abused, raped and trafficked and RICO crimed. I mean, we know about RICO crimes. We know about the black web. We know how and what they do about the black web. We know how and why they get in and out of there. We know how and why they put cameras in the home. All of these things we had to do. So meanwhile, there's a whole bunch of traumatized people that have been the victims of it. We've been the victims of all of this bullshit of church and state, organized crap, organized corruption, BS, where they think that their secret little societies are more important than actually the life of their children. They don't care about the life of their children. They're sacrificing them and putting them on false insurance claims. This is the lowest vibrational, abhorrent, disgusting experience in the galaxy. It has to be looked at. We have to face it. And each and every one of you are going to do your alchemizing. Because I'm not going to do it for every person on this planet. I told God I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. I'm not alchemizing for anybody. I've had enough of the alchemy. How everybody sits on planet Earth, it's up to everybody else. It's up to everybody on planet Earth to do it. I'm not alchemizing nothing for the collective. I'm not alchemizing nothing. I haven't been given a donation. I haven't been given, I don't have free reign on YouTube. I've been given zero respect. I've been given zero nothing. I'm not alchemizing anything for the collective. And I have this discussion with the Father every day. I think it's absolutely, I don't believe in the mentality that you have to be so stressed, that you have to be pushed and prodded, like the one-off statements of, you have to be, condensed like the diamond to be the diamond. You have to go through all of this pain and suffering to be this shiny, great person. You have to be so tortured to come forward and then know that you're this beautiful, divine goddess that's been through it all. That is a truth. There's a truth to all of it. Does it mean that that's where we're going to be? That's the conformed statement of normality? That, oh, you've been abused, that must be you're going to... Oh, it makes you a great diamond, right? You got a diamond in the rough, right? All of these things that people say. It's easy for people to say that. Oh, are you living through it? See, what I want people to get is that you might think that you're going through a dark night of the soul. Every day is dark night of the soul for me. And so when somebody says to me, oh, you're just a diamond in the rough, you're going to get up and you're going to, this is awesome. You've gone through so much and you're just getting back up and you're doing it and you're doing it and you're doing it. And not only do I see my stuff being pilfered and used and flipped around to an AI page, and everybody's doing their shit with all my energy, with all my downloads, with all my information. And all my stuff has been copyright. My 3 books have been copyright. Nobody cares. They're just taking and raping me. They don't care. They don't care. There's no care whatsoever. No donations, no money, no finance. Nobody's giving back to me on any level. Nobody's giving back to me on any level. I don't get anything from anybody. Except my 2 clients. And I will lift them personally. I will lift them. And so when somebody says, oh, you've been prepared. You've been actualized. You're going to be acknowledged. I told God from day one, it wasn't the accolades I cared about. I just wanted to help the planet because I knew she was going through something important, because she's a fucking awesome goddess. And she gives me all of the power and the strength and the intelligence I need. I've been with Gaia since day one, and I'm showing her through these gates. And I'm showing every child through that wants their free will to be respected. I'm going to respect that. And I'm going to speak for it, and I'm going to be the voice of all of them. Because I'm going to continue being a hybrid children. I'm going to continue coming back as a hybrid. I'm going to continue being with Gaia somehow, some way as a hybrid seed. I will always be a hybrid. I will always be a celestial. I will always be an angel. That's my dominant DNA. I will always be angelic. That's my dominant DNA. I came here as an angelic. And I've had to be conformed to all of these vibrational abuses and all of these vibrational statements that everybody is just so conformed to saying. And you think nothing of it unless you're going through a dark night of the soul every day, because you're sitting in everybody else's crap that you've got to alchemize. And you got to alchemize it. Because you're the only one sitting here that's telling the people, that's teaching the people what's really going on out in the collective, and who's going to be the leaders, who's going to help heal the children. How are we going to deal with this sacrificing stuff? Where are the charges being placed for all of the crimes that my ex did against me? Where are the charges being placed? Where are the charges of all the things that have been done in the past 10 years of my ex systematically abusing me with everybody that he was abusing me with? And who was the one directing him? Who were the people directing my ex and his coven? The only reason why people will have found out of the diseases being passed in that cult and coven was because I was talking about it in the public. Because I knew if I was a person on the other side of it, and one of the husbands that wasn't telling the wife what was going on, and he came home and was sleeping with her, and now she has a family that's filled with a disease they didn't ask for. And God told me to bring it forward and keep talking about it and keep talking about it and keep talking about it until the authorities actually do something. Because the authorities are getting paid to just mind their own business and say, no, wait, no, there's nothing going on there, really? There's nothing going on. Oh, there's nothing going on. Systematic abuse, oh, no, we're just normalized to it. That's how you become a diamond. Just we abuse you more, right? Right? Treat them hard and treat them rough. Isn't that the saying? You know? Women are supposed to be seen and not heard. You can throw around a woman, no worries. Just as long as they're not smart enough to threaten us. And if they are, we'll just put a witch or a warlock on them. We'll sacrifice them. Put them on an insurance form and we'll sacrifice them. That's what we'll do. We'll sacrifice the women, we'll sacrifice the children. And then what? You got a planet with just little boys, which is just the way you wanted it, right, men? So you don't have to deal with any of your wounds. You don't have to deal with any of your distortions. You just keep having sex with little boys. Just the way you wanted it. And so this is what it takes. And so your dark night of the soul is this one of your psyche woundings from your childhood. My dark night of the soul is every child that's getting trafficked that nobody's hearing. And my dark night of the soul is about 5,000 lies that have been told since the day I was born, and I have to transmute it and I have to alchemize it. Every day I get up, it's a new lie. It's a new level, it's a new timeline of people and their warlocks and their witchery and their occultism. And when you look at it and you put it on the table and you think, really? You're going to go to bed every night and you're going to live by this dark occultism, and you're going to think that while you're killing and hurting people, and you're denying me of my life, and you're denying me of truth, you're denying me of my peace, you're denying me of safety, you're denying me of protection and support, you're denying me of the monies that were legally owed to me, but because you wanted to sacrifice me, you chose to keep the money anyways, because I wasn't going to be sacrificed, because you couldn't sacrifice me, because for some reason God wasn't letting you, so you kept the money that was legally mine, just to punish me more? This is the hate and the punishment that I live with. And I have to be okay when I just say, oh, that's them. No worries. You're all forgiven. You're so forgiven. I'm just so forgive you. I love you so much. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And Holy Spirit's going to come through, and the Spirit's going to show me that Spirit is. Because that's what I live for. I live for the spiritual stuff. But I have to come here in a physical, and I have to live a dark night of a soul every day. I'm high functioning, I'm a high empath, I'm a vibrational healer, I live in God energy. So if I live in God energy, even one child being trafficked and even one lie that my parents have told me since the day I was born, and the government hasn't had the balls enough, hasn't had the accountability enough to say, here's your original birth documents, we're so sorry that this happened to you, here's the money that we owe you that's actually yours. And we're sorry for doing all the MK Ultra and paying the cults and covens to, take you out. And, as you were writing your book on the beach and having that guy pull out his dick twice while you're trying to write your book about helping humanity. And the stalkers that are in the parking lot every night so that you can't go and walk anywhere, safety. And you're sleeping on the streets. We're sorry about that. You're being separated from your kids, and sorry we did black magic on your kids, because we know that you're special and you're angelic. So we decided to do it on your kids too, so that they don't talk. So we're going to take out your memory, and we're going to take out your kids' memory, and we're going to pretend that it's all about you, and you're going to have this false POA, and we're going to make sure that we're going to take all your money, and we're going to keep putting you in hell. Because, that's the only way that we do things on here is the cult and coven Masonic corruption. Okay, and then what? So supposedly this father wants to be a part of my life, and now that they know God's going to give me a blessing anyways, whether anybody from the collective comes forth and has any level of accountability, it doesn't matter because God's going to bless me. So now all of these people that supposedly my ex and all of these cult and coven people that now know all of the lies in the cesspool of 100% lies that everybody were telling, and everybody were debasing me and defaming me and degrading me. And when you go in and you send your own private investigators, which has been done, private investigators were hired and private investigators were sent in. And these private investigators were absolutely concurring with 100% of what I've said in my videos. But did anybody come and ask me, did anybody give me my credit and my due and say, wow, this is her life story, let's just listen to her? But no, nobody came to talk to me. Nobody came to verify my story. Nobody came to get my signatures. Nobody came to validate my signature. I mean, I've worked in a bank for 15 years. It's kind of the first thing you do is verify signature. You know, do you know about any of the monies that you have in your name? No, nobody's told me about any monies that are in my name. I haven't been given a penny by anybody. I'm sleeping on the street. Can we look at your signature? It's on the divorce paper that's in King's Court in Calgary. You have access to it. Go look it up. May 24th, 2024 is when it was stamped by the King's Court. Go look it up. And you go to my lawyer, and she will show you the thousands of pages that I have written about the dark occult, about the worries and the concerns that I had about what was going on in Calgary, and how many times that I was covertly attacked. And systematically stranglehold, so there was nothing left and nothing left and nothing left. Until I woke up one day and Spirit said, if you do not leave there, they will kill you. And so I left the next day. Because when Spirit says leave, I left. And then I played the love of war every day, every hour with these people because they felt entitled to keep abusing me. They felt entitled to harvesting my energy, which were also harvested through the industry because these cults and covens and the Illuminati and whoever my father was had all of these links that everybody was harvesting off me because they knew the light that I carried. They knew that I could light up a city. And so although they were going along their life manifesting and doing all that they were doing and still staying corrupt and still sacrificed and still doing all that they did and had houses built off of me, I was barely making it and barely surviving and wondering why I'm working so hard and I'm coming up with my downloads and I'm coming up with original channels and I'm writing 3 books by myself, raising a family, and I'm doing everything all on my own, my books, my downloads, my work, and why I'm on the street. And then so Papa wants to come by, and Papa wants to be Papa now, and Papa's got a few things for me because Papa wants to feel good before, Papa has to pass over to the other side, and Papa wants to say, hey, you want to be friends again. And then because I'm a light worker and because I'm from the heavens and because I'm angelic, I'm got to get up and say, hey, let's do this, Papa. I forgive you. I forgive you for the fuck shit that you put me through and sleeping on the side of the street and crying every night. Crying every night because the only 2 people that care about me are my 2 clients. Because there's nobody in my family that offered me back in their house. And so all of you that are taking my ideas and using your AI videos, and all of you are claiming that my intelligence is yours, and my downloads that you can't even see what goes on and how it goes on in the many threads of the dimension, and the many threads of God's source creator, and the plans of the Father, and the plans of the galaxy, and landing stations, and first landing stations, and healing stations, and all the things that are my downloads. And why all of you put out your AI pages, and all of you put out your videos about all of these things that are the chosen ones that are transmuting. It's me and a few of the aligned readers that have also been attacked and systematically abused. And I will stand up for them and I will donate to them when the wealth transfer is done. Only the aligned readers. Because those aligned readers are bringing forward my story about what I put up with, about my dark night of the soul, and what abuse has gone on with me since day one, and nobody gave a fucking crap. Not one person has given their hand to me to help me. Not one authority, not one FBI agent, not one anything. No police, nobody has offered to help me on any level. And these are disgusting crimes. So many lies told that nobody would ever figure out the cesspool of mess that's gone on in the lies and 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 the lies. And I told you all 5 years ago, my ex was a pathological liar, sociopath, who I was shown had early Alzheimer's. And I told the lawyers that, and I told the police that. And then when you're getting the black magic and voodoo every day, MK Ultra, and then what? So what is your chances of having a thought process that's going to be on the up and up? And that those were the ones that were signing the POAs on me. And where's my justice? So the father and the mother say they're going to make it up to me. And that's fine. Because this is my last human lifetime. Right? I was here for a thousand timelines. And this was the last time I was going to be human. But I decided to stay back a little because there was no other light worker that was advanced enough to educate humanity on what I know. So as you see from somebody that's coming forward that's highly advanced, that's highly intellectual, that is a genius, that can assist humanity in understanding what mental illness is all about, as far as the misdiagnoses and the misunderstandings and how mental illness begins and starts at an energetic level and how to heal those things. And that's just one topic. We're talking, then we can go into autism, and then we can go into Alzheimer's, and then we can go into schizophrenia. We can go into all of these things that are misdiagnosed and misunderstood, which I could have had a great foundation to teach all and bring all into higher light consciousness and wisdoms about what and how dynamic the human body is and how we have allowed ourselves these things, and that's fine. But I brought forward 20 years of my passionate work and 3 books, and I've got 2 that I'm going to be writing that will help humanity in whatever way so chooses, in any way that chooses to buy and purchase and go into self-evolution and self-advancement into who we are as Metatronic light beings. And I come on every day, I'm free, and I do ask for donations, and I don't receive any, except for my 2 clients. And the ones that take my information and then they go and make it into their platforms, and they talk about what's really going on in the subtle underground, under themes that only people like myself would know, because that's our job. Our job as a conduit is to know what are the foundational rumblings of the collective energies. What's the collective human energy? What's happening there? What are the issues that we're going to pull out vibrationally? And that's my job, is to go in and pierce it and pull it out and explain it to everybody and say, this is how we ascend. That's my job as a conduit. That's what I do for God. And so all of these people that are making these templates have been using my information and my downloads as I'm explaining to all of you. And you make your downloads and you make your videos, which is great. They're great videos. I use them on my channel to help explain in other ways as a video, because I don't have the time or the effort to make videos like you make them. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay sharing that. What I'm not okay with is getting no credit. I'm not okay with people not donating and not giving my channel credit. I'm not okay with the free raping and taking of me. And I'm giving you information, and I'm helping you heal, and I'm helping you advance in how you're moving about your multiverse and your psychological issues, and you're moving about in your advancement of becoming an expanded being. And I'm getting no credit for any of it. This is my last lifetime in a body, and I find it even gross that I have to even say it, because you should be just given your credit. I feel gross having to ask for it. I feel gross having to ask for donations, because it should be for somebody of my quality and my caliber. I shouldn't even have to ask for donations. There should be bookings for the next full year of lectures for me to bring my expertise and my light to the public. There's nobody that can encapsulate global issues in a way that I can and explain it to the collective at various levels of consciousness the way that I can. There's nobody on the planet that can do this. And then I have the actual Masons and the Illuminati and the world leaders that were all a part of trying to take me out, wanting to sneak around the back corner and say, you know, I'd like to give you a few things. You know, can we maybe talk about not going to court? I want to be a part of your life now. You're forgiven. You're forgiven for the sacrifices that you tried to place on me. You're forgiven for all your spells and your curses and your hexes. You're forgiven for taking other children out because you couldn't take me out. And I will carry their souls and their spirits into the 5D because you don't care. You are forgiven for your ignorance to think that you had a say over another person's life, and you had no idea the beauty they hold within them that hasn't even been tapped into. I don't know what you think love is. I don't know what you think love is. Holy Spirit, please release those energies. The 50 plus years that I've been here, I surrender it all to you, Spirit. Anybody from the past, anybody from Calgary, for the billionth time, we're not friends, we're not pals. You're forgiven, you have no weight with me. I wish that you would just let me fucking heal. You will never sacrifice me, and you will never take me out. And I will continue to be a world leader, and I will continue to fight for the voices of those that need me. Whoever my father was, I don't need you in my life. I want you to just leave me alone and let me heal. I want everybody from Calgary to leave me alone and let me heal. I want everybody in their cults and covens to leave me the fuck alone and let me fucking heal. I want you to leave the children alone. I want you to stop trafficking. I want you to stop harvesting. I want you to stop thinking that your magic and hurting people is going to get you any farther in life, because it won't. I don't understand how anybody thinks that killing somebody is going to benefit them. You will have to face all of your deeds. That is soul's progression. That is the higher order. That's how the heavens work. That's how your soul works. Your soul will not let you come back into another life without you understanding your deeds and where you sit, and why there is a life review at every time a person, a human, passes over into spirit. They must go through a life review. Every single human goes through a life review with Source and their guides. It doesn't matter their religious box store beliefs. So if every human has a life review, what does that tell you? That you're all connected. All of the money's owed to me. All of the money's owed to me. Send it to my bank. And send your donations through to PayPal so I can fix my life and I can fix my finances. Because I don't deserve to be sleeping on the street, waiting for divine masculines to sort out and wonder and think some more about how they're going to come to me and make things right with me. I've already told you how to make things right. And how you make things right is by returning the money that you owe and you stole from me, and you withheld, and you suppressed, and you suffocated from me. I want my birth documents. I want the actual addresses, and I want the directions. I want the names. I want the places. I want the dates and the times of where and how and who and why I was born to. It's my life. I deserve to have my stories returned. I deserve peace. This is a basic human right. I haven't had a basic human right since the day I was born. And yet all of you felt entitled to make as much as you could off of me. And you did. And now all of these 3D timelines will be put to zero and they will be balanced. And it cannot be balanced unless I receive these things. And your soul will continue to experience your version of hell until I get these things. Because this is how it works. You cannot just feel entitled to abuse whoever you want. You cannot abuse children however you want. You cannot have them go through 8,000 lies however you want to satisfy you while you're giving them no peace at all. When we talk about providing people peace, it's because you're giving them peace because you owe it to them. You owe that person peace because at some point you're going to go through your life review and you're not going to have any peace until there's balance made. The law number 2 is the balance. That is the law number 2, is of balance. And if you're not bringing people balance because you're systematically abusing them, financially abusing them, mentally abusing them, socially abusing them, in what way you are ever abusing them, vibrationally, spiritually, however you're abusing that person. In any way that you interfere with somebody, you are bringing them out of balance. You're bringing them out of balance. And until I get balanced, you're going to keep going through karma until this is brought back up into balance. Because I'm actually pretty important in the multiverse, and if I'm not brought into balance, that means the whole multiverse is brought out of balance. I shouldn't have had to stay back here in the lower realms so that we can dissect it one by one, by one by one, by one by one on how sacrificing is not okay. Do unto others and all that kind of thing. We all learned this in kindergarten. And yet the leaders of the world, this is how they play. Taking lunch money, bullying, MK Ultraing, trying to take their memories out, doing black magic on the children, suppressing my work, suppressing my channel so I never get seen, I never get heard, and just hoping I'm going to give up one day. I'm living on the side of the street and just hoping I'm going to just take myself out. Because isn't that better than you being accountable for the 50 years that you've been screwing me? And the 50 years that you've been telling lies and the 50,000 hexes you've been putting on me. Okay, and then what? You will go through the same thing at your life review. You're going to have your dark nights of the soul, and you're going to have to know what it feels like to be trafficked and to be RICO'd, however many times you RICO'd me. For your benefit, the 60 plus sacrifices you've done on me and the poisoning and all of these things you've done. I haven't received any justice on any of it, except for my 2 clients. Thank God for my 2 clients. And so for the father that's now going to step forward and think that you're going to have any part of my life, you're forgiven. No, thank you. I'm 50-something. I'm fine. No, thank you. If you have something that is mine, you have something that you owe me because of all the horrible things you've done to me and all the horrible things you didn't choose to go forward and tell other people and make sure there was justice done to your daughter that you were going to sacrifice anyways because of your beliefs about your cultism and your Masonic and your Illuminati hotshotty, no thanks. No thanks. I've got my place with Source. I've got my place with the galaxy. I've got the light ships that follow me everywhere. I've got my tribe. You can send it through to my bank, and the address is on my YouTube page. The only way to contact me for a collaboration, for all the beautiful things that I'm going to create a whole new world of things. I am the primary inertia of 5D for all of the human collective because I am the inertia for it. I'm the momentum for 5D. And I'm going to be bringing in all of the great ideas that I'm being downloaded from Source Creator, that I'm being gifted through my higher self because I do the work, because I do sit on the floor and I go through my dark night of the soul. Every single day it comes up because I do the alchemy. And all of you know it because it's proven. I prove it to you as I come forward. This isn't fake. This is a real process of healing. This is how we heal. This is what leaders talk about when we're talking about how we're going to take our collective to the next level. This is how we're doing it. We have to face it. And why do you think God allowed me to survive? And why do you think God is going to pull out every name that was involved, all 300 that was involved, for holding me back, for destroying me, for destroying my family, for systematically abusing me on every hour of every day, and never giving me credit, never giving me my accolades, never giving me my energy back that you've harvested, while all of you sit in your multi-million-dollar homes, and all of you drive in your fancy cars, and all of you work every day pretending that my work and my ideas and my energy and my downloads of how to understand the psyche and the multidimensionality that nobody else talks about in the way that I do. And now all of you are starting to progress, and all of you are starting to understand it, and all of you are starting to say, hey, there is something to this, because you're seeing it. I don't need the accolades, that's fine. I don't deserve to be sleeping on the street and fighting for my rights every day, because it's a basic human right that I get my government pay. It's my basic human right that my children actually know the truth about who their grandfather is and their parents are. It's my actual human right that I get my proper birth records so that I'm not walking around thinking I'm somebody I'm not. And why Spirit's going to keep showing you and telling you. The people that are standing before you are not bringing you truth. Keep digging, keep digging, keep digging. And my life has been nothing but a big fucking puzzle. And my life has been nothing but, connecting the dots. I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to connect the dots anymore. I don't give a fuck. Let somebody else connect the dots. Let somebody else do it. There's nobody like you. They want me to connect the dots because there's nobody like me. You see what I drew with the little friend that stops at the coffee shop? She's 8. And I help her understand her world when nobody's listening to her. She wants to help the homeless. She draws pictures. That's how she expresses herself. She's 8. That's what I do, being homeless. I help children, and children will find me no matter where they are, and I'm going to help them heal. Anybody that would like to give a donation, that would be really great. PayPal.me/Joanna L. Ross. Everybody's forgiven. You have no weight with me. All the cords are cut. I pray that you wake up about black magic and occult and your sacrificing business and your trafficking business and your RICO business and the chemtrails and everything else that is being done to humanity and the planet. And I hope that Gaia understands and there's no rumblings and there's no floods by your house and by your places. And the world leaders, I'm asking for my information back because it's a basic human right. I wish everybody a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sacred day I love all of you. I love my 2 clients that have been donating to me. I absolutely love you and I adore you and I send you prayers and I send you wishes. This is what healing is like sometimes, taking humanity's darkest parts, and we're going to talk about it inside and out until we put it on the table, and we're going to solve it and we're going to resolve it, and everybody gets to their own ending point, and everybody gets to their own idea point. Everybody gets to their own state of saying, hey, that doesn't make sense. Let's do this. That's what I want to get. I want to get the collective. I want to get the collective there. I want to get the collective there so that they see this is what healing is. You can get through it. It's not comfortable. You have to face the things that people do. You have to face the truths that come out, and you have to go through it, and you have to choose for yourself. I choose to forgive all of you. I choose to forgive everybody that's been involved, the government, everybody that's been involved in allowing my life to be this mess that I have to pull out and I have to fix now. All of you are forgiven. All of the sacrifices, all of the death wishes, you dancing on graves, and the people that have been taken out for you to try and practice on me. I have to still deal with all of that. That's the hardest part that I have to deal with, is that the people that were taken out while you were practicing. Because you might not have cared about their life, but I do. I forgive all of you. I pray to the Father and the Mother that they help me transmute all of these things that is part of the 3D, 4D timelines. I can't wait to get to 5D. This is the book of humanity, and we're going to get through it, and we're going to alchemize, because the children will be a braver generation, and the children will be a smarter generation, because we can't have these types of mentalities and these types of so-called ways that we are. The dark occult and the things that have been done on humanity, taking people out and poisoning people and having them live in lies for their entire life until you find that it's comfortable for you to bring forward the truth, because now you're feeling a tiny bit of guilt. And you want to bring her a little bit of peace before she takes her retirement. Thank you. Thank you for that. Anybody that would like to donate, that would be great. Any information of hard copies or evidence, anything like that is in a hard copy or documents, it has to go to my bank. And you courier it to my bank. Attention client, pick up. Attention client, pick up, and I will go and pick it up. They have lots of cameras at the bank. And so that would be great if you deliver it. The courier delivers it to the bank, and I will go pick it up myself, and I will sign for it because they know my signature there, because they actually talk to me and they know me. As that's what people do when you're checking signatures and you're checking to see what's what. I have to get new ID, and I have to get new documents, and all of those things that were stolen from me. My laptop was stolen, my ID was stolen, all those things. So it was really wonderful to go through, plus all the other stuff. So I'm really grateful to everybody for coming on my channel and sharing my channel, sharing my wisdoms and my downloads. I'm still working on my book 4 and 5 as soon as I get my laptop, as soon as I get my tools, as soon as I get all that stuff back into state. I get a safe space just for me. All that stuff is going to be just for me. There's supposedly Spirit and I are working on a whole bunch of other things for the other half that has been nothing but lies to me, as far as a soulmate, if you will. That's kind of off the table for me right now because of all the lies that they've been involved with and their plots and planning along with this. They have been involved in the plots and the planning of my life and the schemes that were being done. Everybody was involved in it. So that's what I'm healing right now, is I'm healing the number of people that were involved in trying not to be accountable and to use me for as much as they can and to take as much as they can. So that's what I'm healing. And as growing in love, I forgive all of you. At this point, I don't have any soulmates or any intention right now. I'm going to be single. I'm just going to focus on my healing. And I just thank God for my 2 clients that have helped me be as absolutely taken care of as possible in consideration of what I've been going through with absolutely no income and so on. And I'm just going to reclaim my power every day. I'm just going to do my healing every day. I'm going to get back up and I'm going to write my stuff and I'm going to do my blogging and I'm going to keep doing what I'm going to do. And I'm going to heal as many children as I can, because I know that's my destiny, and I'm going to bring new arts and entertainment field. And I've got so many different inventions and so many different things I'm going to be doing on the planet for the benefit of Gaia and for the multiverse. And that's where my jurisdiction is. So that's where I'm going to keep my focus. But this had to be people from Calgary, and there's people that are going to come back and wanting to make things right, and they're now all in the guilt mode because they're feeling their karma now, and they want to know how they can get back in touch with me and start life over again with me. And there's no start over. There isn't. Please go on to other people. There's no resonance. We're not frequency resonance. I've spent 50 years dealing with the mess. I've spent 50 years dealing with the weight and the mess. I've had to survive your sacrificing. I've had to survive the hate. I've had to survive the day-by-day mess. So there's no coming together. You're forgiven. You have no weight with me. I'm not carrying nothing with you. You owe me. There's things that people owe me. Send it to my bank, please. That's what I'm asking of you. Send it to my bank so I can get on with my life. You're forgiven. Go on with your life. Go do what you got to do with God. I'm going to go on with my life. So that's a clean cut. Clean cut. No other things between us. We're not going to have anything. You're not going to come back and pretend that you're my best friend and you're going to get some of my blessings from God. No, it isn't. You're all forgiven. Go deal with God. Okay, you're all forgiven. Really great. Hope everybody is having a great Valentine's week. Go out and love yourself. It's the most important thing, because when you love yourself, it doesn't matter what people throw at you. You're always going to know you're going to get back up. I'm going to keep writing. I'm going to keep healing. I'm going to keep doing what I do. That's just what I do. Anybody that wants to come at me, don't. I don't do pop-ups. I still only have 2 ways of connecting with me, and that is all it's going to ever be. I don't bend on these rules. So it doesn't matter how you feel about your guilt. Send it to my bank, please. And if you want to put a little confession letter there, you want to give me more truth, then you can write a letter, you can do a card, whatever you want to do with it. You feel good about, that's fine. Again, I don't hold anything against you. You did what you did from your belief systems. You're totally forgiven. You're cut from anything that I have to say or hold you back on. There's no weight with me. Okay, everybody's forgiven. Gratitude and love to everybody. Thank you so much, and wishing you well wishes, and happy Wednesday, February 11th. And yeah, go and have fun and love yourself. Bye.